Rev up your engines. All right, 2024 Chevy pickup truck. This is a 6.6 liter with the Allison transmission, 2500 HD. Now we'll start with the first bit of information. It says Allison. It is Allison branded. It is not built by Allison. It's a conglomeration of GM and Allison. GM used to own Allison. Allison wanted to buy the company back. They didn't like the image of GM. And part of that deal was GM could build transmissions and call them Allison branded. So it's not actually made by Allison anymore. And that's the root of what some people have problems with this, is that they're 10-speed automatic transmissions. And we'll talk about more of that later. But go under the hood, that 6.6 liter engine is a good engine. It's pretty well made, right? The transmission is the things that people are always questioning in these. I'm always telling people, 10-speed transmissions are often actually a stupid idea. Give you a perfect example. On the highway, he gets 13.5 miles a gallon, and that's with the 10-speed transmission. Just yesterday, a guy brought me a 4-year-old Tundra with a V8, had a 6-speed transmission, and it got 17.5 miles a gallon driving here from Albany, New York, going 80 miles an hour. So, what good is a 10-speed automatic if it's getting worse gas mileage than the 6 by quite a bit? And when he tows, he gets between 8 and 9 towing. So, it's a gas hog. Yes, it is a gas hog. So why the 10-speed transmissions? Well, you got me scratching my head there. But that's just the game that GM was into these transmissions. Now, he took it into GM. He told them when he was towing, hey, that the transmission doing a little wobbly shifting. Now, he told them that it only did it when he was towing a heavy weight. Right? When he's normally driving, it doesn't do it. So he said, should I bring it in with a trailer? And what did they say? No, you don't need the trailer. Well, of course you need the trailer. If somebody says, well, my back hurts, but only when I got a 40-pound rucksack on it, you want to do it with the rucksack, not without the rucksack, right? So they claimed they reprogrammed it, but he said when he's towing stuff, it still does the same. It didn't make any difference. As he said, it's a work truck. Now, he only paid like 55 grand for this truck new, and you wonder, well, how did he do that? Because it is a 2500. I've seen people pay close to 100 grand for these things. Well, he said, I want the basic model. I don't want all that other crap. It's got a fabric seat, right? Not the leather. He got the basic truck. He said, all I want is basic truck stuff. I don't need all that other crap. So he got this thing for 55 grand, and that's a good deal, especially considering that it's a 4x4. Now, granted, it is a solid truck. Look, it's not plastic. It's just painted metal. It's not plastic. Looks like plastic, but it's not plastic. Of course, all this stuff's plastic, but it does have actual bumpers on it. In the front, nice little step there for getting in the back. And the back, it's metal. It's a little thinner than the front, but still, it's metal. This particular one's 6.5 feet because it's got the dual cabs on it, and that's fine for him. He doesn't run a cement company or he's pulling stuff back and forth. You can get whatever configuration you want. The more you configure, the more you're going to pay. If you're smart, you'd be like him, buy a stripped down version, and you could add stuff later if you wanted. I mean, all right, that's the best way to do it. Maybe you think, oh, I want a real fancy stereo. You can get an Android for 140 bucks from China that works perfectly fine, you know? You don't need to pay $1,000-something bucks for fancy stuff. You could add it later a lot cheaper. Now, I do have to say from experience, these 6.6 liter engines are excellent engines. Yeah, they drink a lot of gas, hence, even with a 10-speed automatic transmission, you know, it's going to get 13.5 miles a gallon normal driving and 8 to 9 when you're towing the thing. But it's got plenty of power, and it generally lasts for quite some time. Now, if you are thinking about buying a GM truck, this is probably one of the better ones to buy. For instance, do not buy the 4-cylinder turbo Silverado, okay? For two main reasons. One, it's a 4-cylinder turbo engine. I've seen those things blow at 45,000 miles. I even had a customer had one blow. We wouldn't give them a new engine. They said, well, cylinder 1 and 2 are bad. We're going to fix them. It's like, sheesh, yeah, you think they would have fixed it. But number 2, which is even more ridiculous, it doesn't have the 10-speed. Okay, it's got an 8-speed, but the 8-speed is worse than a 10-speed. The 8-speed, they had to recall for valve body problems. The 10-speed Allison, at least it's got Allison technology behind it, right? The 8-speed that GM did a lot of their own design is worse. So maybe they should just give up on those 4-cylinder ones. Some people buy them. They do have horsepower. They're 300-something horsepower, but they just won't hold up over time. And if you are pulling weight with a 4-cylinder turbo in a big truck, you'd wish you got 8 miles a gallon in that thing, because it's going to get even worse than that with a heavy load. They're not made for towing. Now, I was curious about this automatic transmission, and the reprogram, it didn't seem to do anything. So out with the giant computer comes, of course, you know, it's a keyless ignition. So we'll turn the lights on. We'll turn the wipers off. It was raining. It's not raining anymore. See, went basic. Like that V8 Toyota that got better gas mileage. It doesn't have real parking brake. It's got electronic. I don't like that either. Let's turn on a giant scan tool. We'll look at everything, but we'll especially look at automatic transmission data. This thing will tell us everything we need to know. Ready, read the VIN. Did a good job there. And we'll look at the general information in a second. It's thinking. 2024 Silverado. 6.6 liter. We'll do a full scan, and while we're scanning, I mean, it's a new vehicle, so I got 15,000 miles on it, so hey, it should be in pretty good shape. I expect anything to go wrong. It's the transmission that he's really wondering about. You can see he's got the small screen. He doesn't care. It's good enough for him. Now, it's got a bunch of faults, but 9 of them are the radio. It's got problems with the parking assist, which isn't surprising. It often doesn't work that well. All lost communications, and that probably has to do with the fact that the battery has been replaced. It's gone bad already. The radio has 9 faults. Control circuit short to ground. Speaker short to ground. These are all electrical things. The radio works fine, so what we're going to do is we're going to erase all this stuff, because it's all communication stuff. See if any of it pops back. None of them pop back, so odds are when the battery went bad, it sat too long in a lot, and the battery went flat. We'll reset. We'll see if any of it comes back. But what we really want to do, start her up and look at the transmission data. Here we go. We know there's no codes. You already saw them. Let's look at live data. All parameters. Everything. Okay? Black is good, red is bad. We'll start looking. They're very complicated systems. That's the way you gotta have a machine like this to analyze them. First, we're just gonna check to see if there's any bad data. All this information, clutch return, spring learning, maneuver required. Now, see, here's the thing. If you're driving this thing, it has to learn how you drive with these 10 speeds. They're extremely complex. And he very rarely tows with it, but when he does, he says he can feel some shuddering in some gears. I told him, if there's any way you can tow something for a lot of times, like say in a month, tow 10 or 20 things during that month, it may very well learn, so it doesn't do that anymore. It's the problem with these 10 speeds. They're trying to get the best power, but they're trying to get the best gas mileage. So sometimes if you've got a heavy load in the back, they get confused over power and gas mileage, and then they'll be going between gears. It's often a problem that happens. GM claims that they reprogrammed this particular one, but as I say, these reprogramming often don't hold. And he said the next time he told something, it did the same thing. So much for adaptive control with computer software. Though, like I say, this thing can adapt to your driving if you do it all the time. If he didn't tow anything and he had a problem, that problem could have fixed itself during the time he's been driving the thing. But he doesn't tow enough, so it doesn't have a chance to fix itself either. See all the relearn stuff, and none of it's red. If it was bad, it would show a red, say that it needs something to be learned, such as transmission, clutch 4, volume learned, driving maneuver required, the 9-8 downshift. I mean, all this stuff shows good on it now. A lot of information, like I said. That's why you gotta have a machine like this, can analyze stuff, do freeze frame data. You can see these are such complex transmissions. They even have an auxiliary fluid pump to pump the fluid through the system. They're very complex inside. But like I said, if you buy the Turbo 4 Chevy truck, it's got an 8-speed that has more problems than these 10 speeds have. So look, all the data, there's no red data. Tiny little backup camera, but that's because he got the lowest level you can. But you can see, you know, it works. You can see where you're backing up. 6-liter engine, it's smooth as can be. And it's 4-wheel drive. It's very high up in the air. We'll go over the big bump here. I'll have no problem going over it. And of course, it's a pickup truck, 4-wheel drive, so it rides like that. It's not a particularly smooth ride, you know. The Fords actually ride a little bit better. They're a little lighter too because they have more aluminum in them, but I can even feel it there. I'm not a big fan of these 10 speeds either. When I gave it a little bit of gas, it felt a little bit off because the transmission is always trying to decide, are you going to get power or better gas mileage? You can shift it manually if you want. And when you're towing, you can put it in towing mode, as you can see there. We'll give it a little gas. Engine, see it right there? Definitely bogged down. I had my foot on the floor. I did not take my foot off the gas, and it definitely bogged down as it was taking off. That's why people don't like these 10-speed automatics. They just don't have the feel. We'll try it again. See, a little bit rough. It was rougher the first time, but it's still reasonably rough. For a vehicle that's only got 15,000 miles on it, it's not my first choice, I'll tell you that. Hey, it's not an Allison transmission. It's an Allison branded transmission that GM makes. Turning radius, it's a big truck. We got a big area here, but no, I gotta back up. It's got a pretty large turning radius. You can see that. Not the most nimble of trucks. All right, again. Once it warmed up, it's somewhat better. But still, oh, that downshift, I can feel the downshift. So I wouldn't be happy if this was my vehicle with that transmission. The engine's fine. Four-wheel drive works fine, but that transmission, I'm not happy with it myself. Now, check the scan. Well, none of the codes came back, so that was all because the battery got drained at some point in time and it lost communication with all that stuff. There's even the basic lowest tech model you can buy like this. Still has an awful lot of crazy electronics on it. He said he never had any problems with the radios working, saying speakers had problems. He said speakers work perfectly fine. So, just computer glitchy stuff when the battery gets low. Showing you should test your battery every once in a while in a modern car, because there's so many things that run off of that battery. If the voltage gets low, you can get all kinds of crazy codes that don't mean anything other than the battery's not supplying enough electricity. Okay, so what's my conclusion? Is it a solid vehicle, or is it something that maybe gives you some shifty problems? Well, I'm not really happy with the way it shifts myself either. But I drive like a maniac. He seems like a guy who doesn't drive like such a maniac. It's probably more used to him going slower and wants better gas mileage. So, when I tell anybody who's thinking about buying one of these, anybody, road test one before you buy it. Because if you, and I'm talking about, don't go and they'll say, oh, it's only got a little gas, you can't go far. Take it for at least a 20-30 minute road test, including acceleration, uphills, backing it up, and cruising 80 on the highway and flooring it to see how it goes. And if you don't like the way it shifts, don't buy it. Now, it can last quite some time. He was smart. He bought the extended warranty, so he's got engine, powertrain, transmission and engine, 100,000 mile warranty. He's only got 15,000 on it more. So, sure, you got to argue with them to fix it, but with the warranty, they would have to fix it somehow, somewhere. Sure, they'll do what they did already and reprogram it. It won't make a damn bit of difference most of the time. But if you're thinking about buying one, good engine. Don't touch the Ford Turbo by any stretch with the horrendous 8-speed automatic. But road test it and see what you think. And if you don't like it, don't even think about buying it. As they say, the proof is in the pudding. Some people don't care. I've got people that have them. They're slower drivers. They don't mind it whatsoever. Or they'll always put it in sport mode, and they'll get even worse gas mileage. I mean, let's face it, this thing gets 13.5 on the highway when that Toyota got 17.5, and it's only got a 6-speed automatic. So, not a fan of the transmission itself. You can make your own decision, but listen to me. Road test it before you buy, especially if you're buying a used one. And let me tell you the trick of the used ones. If you're looking at a used one of these, you're going to road test it. Open the hood. Put your hand on the engine and radiator. If it's cold, road test. If it's warmed up, tell them, I'm coming back when the engine's cold. Because when they're used, when they're cold, you start them up and take off. If they're hesitating, don't think about buying it. It means the transmission's got problems. So now you know the truth about these pickup trucks. You can make a wise decision yourself. Me, I personally wouldn't buy one. For the money he paid, 55 grand, that's not bad. He got the stripped down version. I feel sorry. I've seen people pay 90 grand for loaded ones, and I think that's just foolhardy. So if you never want to miss another one of my new car repair videos, remember to ring that bell.